And the winner is a lucky lady by the name of Emma C. Congratulations, you've just won yourself an invite to one of the most exclusive and sought-out Halloween getaways ever. Man, am I jealous. We'll be in contact with you to sort out the details shortly, but for now, let's just get back to some smooth tune.
His voice abruptly cut off as my best friend, Mira, switched the radio off.
You won. You actually... I can't believe it. You get to... I'm so jealous.
I actually won. I had never expected to win. In fact, I had only entered the competition as a joke when I realized how much Mira wanted to go. Going on a getaway surrounded by star-studded performers and hosted by the famous actor Eric Valdemar was exactly the kind of thing a social butterfly like Mira lived for. I, on the other hand, would just feel nervous and gauche around people of that nature. Maybe you can go in my place?
Were you not paying attention to the rules? The prize is non-transferable.
Oh, well, if I decline, then they can pick...
Oh, no, you don't. If I can't go, then I sure as hell am not letting you back out. I need you to go and tell me all the details when you get back. Please, I won't ask you for anything else ever.
Mira...
Come on, you can't tell me there isn't a performer you want to meet. It's not just actors, it's singers, models, just all-around famous people.
Exactly! What if I make a fool of myself? I'll stick out like a sore thumb.
Everyone's going to be in costume for the entire 2 weeks. They won't know you're not one of them. Besides, even if you mess up, it's not like they'll ever find out who you are.
Well, I guess I do have a few weeks of vacation time stored up, but...
Think about the type of food a fancy event like this will.
If there's good food, I'm there.
Yes! Thank you so much. I'll love you forever.
There's just one problem. What am I going to wear? I looked around at all the magnificently costumed guests, and I couldn't help but feel out of place. My own costume, that of an elven archer, minus the elf ears, certainly wasn't cheap, but it made me feel like a little kid playing dress-up. I was too nervous to actually go up to anyone, so no one paid me any attention as I leaned against the wall. Mira is going to be very disappointed if the rest of the getaway is like this. I was contemplating trying to start a conversation when the lights went out. A murmur went through the hall. I could hear people shuffling, but stayed where I was. There was less chance of being knocked over with a wall at my back, after all. It wasn't long before the lights flared to life once again, and everyone looked towards the staircase. It seemed that our host had finally decided to put in an appearance.
Good evening, and welcome to this year's spooktacular event.
A collective groan rose from the crowd, but he continued without paying it any heed.
I know that many of you have attended this event in previous years, but for the sake of the newcomers, I will explain the rules.
Rules? Why do we need rules? Well, apart from the common sense ones.
As always, we have a little game to make these 2 weeks much more fun. A few years ago, it was a murder mystery, and I think last year's contest was to see who could correctly guess the most people's identities. This year we decided to spice it up a bit. You'll be split into groups of 4 and given tasks to complete. Then you will be given points depending on if and how you complete them. The team with the most points wins!
The crowd was silent.
No enthusiasm.
What do we win?
The honor of being this year's champions?
Another collective groan. This guy is a lot less cool than I thought he'd be.
I kid. We do have amazing prizes, but those are a surprise. The mansion has been remodeled to suit the Halloween feel and cater to the tasks. There are also secret passages, but those are mostly for the servants to get around swiftly. If you enter them and get lost, it could be days before we find you, so please don't. To add to the fun, it is mandatory that you protect your identity until Halloween is over. It's so much more interesting interacting with people who don't know who you are.
At least I don't have to worry about anyone finding out that I'm a nobody.
Well, I think that's it.
How are we going to be put into groups? Do we decide?
Oh, I totally forgot about that. The teams have already been randomly selected. When you return to your rooms tonight, you should find a dossier with all the details you need about your team. Any other questions?
The Phantom? Really?
Well, I've already done so many iconic roles that it's only fitting that I be the other Eric at least once. Well, I think that wraps up the formalities, so mingle!
The lights cut out, once again, on his very last word, before returning a few moments later.
Drama queen.
Well, he is.
Shut up.
I caught sight of a young woman making her way towards me.
I don't think I've seen you speak to anyone yet.
You've been watching me?
No, not exactly. It's just that every time I looked over here, I'd see you all alone. I thought you might like some company.
Oh. So you came here out of pity. I see.
No! You just remind me of a friend of mine. She tends to shy away from social interaction.
Well, I'm not exactly shy. Just maybe a little out of my comfort zone.
Is it your first time? I know the first time can be quite intimidating.
Yeah. Was yours?
Not exactly, but then I wasn't alone.
The faint tune of a familiar song began to play.
Speak of the devil.
She quickly pulled out her phone and answered it.
You do realize that it hasn't even been 24 hours, right? Fine, just hold on a second.
She shot me an apologetic smile.
Pardon me, but this may take a while.
She left to find a quiet place to continue the phone call.
And what is such a vision of loveliness doing standing all alone?
I beg your pardon?
You're not in the mood to socialize?
Not particularly.
Then I guess I should leave.
You don't have to. He grimaced as he glanced at his watch.
I actually do. But I hope we get to spend more time together over the next 2 weeks.
He shot me a brief smile before disappearing among the partygoers. Well, that was quite something. Those brief encounters bolstered my courage enough that I looked around for someone else to talk to. To my left, there was a werewolf who looked like he was trying to blend in with the wall. And to my right, there was a mummy leaning disinterestedly against the wall and sipping at a glass of wine. Everyone else seemed to already be absorbed in conversation. I think I'll try talking to... the werewolf. I walked over to him, trying to look confident instead of nervous. Hi. He started before looking around for a second to see if I was speaking to someone else.
Hi.
You don't seem very comfortable.
It's, my first time here. It's quite intimidating.
This is mine as well, and I definitely agree about it being intimidating.
Yeah.
Maybe we first-timers should stick together.
Maybe, but, don't we have to stick to our own groups when the game starts?
I guess we do. Still, we're bound to have some free time, right?
I guess. I need to go. My manager is calling.
See you later, then.
Later.
I watched him scurry off like a scared little rabbit. I didn't expect a famous person to be that skittish. I wonder what he does. I still have time. I might as well see if the other guy would be willing to talk to me. I tried to use the walkover to think of something to say to him, but before I knew it, there I was in front of him with nothing worthwhile to say. Hi. His eyes flicked toward me for a second before returning to stare straight in front of him. The dismissal in the act was clear, but I decided to give it one more shot. This isn't quite your scene either. This isn't going anywhere. The rest of the party was pretty uneventful, and I couldn't help but feel relieved to get to the room I'd be staying in. We had to hand our phones over to the servants before we left, so we wouldn't be able to cheat. I wasn't exactly happy about handing my phone over to a stranger, but no one else had complained, so I didn't either. I can finally take this costume off and relax. Before I could, however, I noticed that there was a file on the bed. Oh, right, my teammates. I hope they're nice. I opened the file to the first page and let out a groan. Oh, the mummy from earlier. Mr. Bandages, huh. Skills? Why would we... Wait, what does my page say? I flipped through the pages until I found mine. Miss Archer. Skills... unknown. At least it's not something embarrassing. So far, it's me and Mr. Bandages. I hope the other two have a better disposition than he does. I turned the pages to see that the vampire who had approached me was another one of my teammates. The Count. At least he's friendly. Now for the moment of truth. The last member of our team is... Mr. Wolf. I heaved a sigh of relief. A shy teammate is much better than a jerky one. I wonder if we'll all be able to work together, or if we're doomed to fail from the start. No point worrying about that now, though. I need to get some sleep. I had just finished putting on one of my spare costumes. They had asked us to pack spares so we wouldn't have people randomly switching costumes every day and causing confusion, when a tone played throughout the room.
Good morning to all my wonderful guests.
Well, I guess the mansion is big enough to warrant a PA system.
I hope everyone slept well because you're all going to need your energy.
It's too early for this.
The first task is about to begin.
Shouldn't we at least get breakfast first?
Each team has been assigned a meeting room, and everyone should be receiving a page with directions on the task objective right about now.
As he said that, a sheet of paper slid under the door and into the room. Did he seriously have his staff?
Good luck!
Another tone signaled the end of the announcement. Might as well get this over with. Maybe then I'll get to eat. I swiftly made my way to the meeting room to see Mr. Wolf, already there, looking around. Good morning, Mr. Wolf.
Miss Archer, good morning.
So, any idea where the rest of our teammates are? Or if we'll be getting breakfast anytime soon? I'm starving.
I'm not sure. I haven't really met them. I have an energy bar if you want it.
That? Before I could finish responding, the door swung open to reveal an irate Mr. Bandages.
What is this?
He slammed a page down onto the table. My skill sheet?
Exactly. A skill sheet. Except there are no skills. It'd be just like Eric to put me in a group of useless people.
Calm down, Mommy. What kind of gentleman refers to a lady as useless?
The Count walked into the room, unperturbed by Mr. Bandages.
What did you just call me?
This is hardly important right now.
You're right. What is important is this task. I refuse to lose this game of his.
Again, you mean? It's not like you've ever won.
And how would you know that?
The previous winners were all either female, old men, or child stars. Really, it's not that hard to figure out.
Seemingly finished with that conversation, the Count turned his attention from Mr. Bandages to me.
Miss Archer, it's delightful to see you again.
Likewise. I honestly wasn't expecting to be put into a team with anyone I met yesterday.
It must be fate. Although, I do apologize for you having to put up with Mr. Living Dead over there.
I was saved from having to answer by the arrival of a waiter wheeling in a breakfast cart. Food? Yes!
Perfect timing. I was starting to get a bit hungry.
This isn't the time for food.
There's always time for food.
We do need energy.
You've been outvoted, Mr. Grumpy.
Fine.
We all sat down to eat the delicious food. Mr. Bandages didn't even wait for us to finish eating before bringing up the game again.
The first task seems easy enough.
It's finding and opening a door, right?
Yes, but knowing Eric, it's probably not that simple.
The task requires 3 people, so I'd say you're right.
What happens to the 4th person?
They will be taken to the goal area by the staff to wait for the others to arrive.
I don't know why you're telling her this. It was written on the page with the task.
I hadn't actually bothered to read more than the directions earlier.
I can sit out if no one else wants to. That is...
Your skills might actually be useful. It's Miss Archer, who apparently has no skills, so she should sit out.
Hey! I have skills.
Well, what are they?
I, for one, have people skills.
This isn't a social event.
Actually it sort of is. I mean, my manager made me come to network, so...
That's besides the point. I want to win, not make friends.
Well, you'd be alone in that.
Then maybe I should do this game alone.
Because that's worked so well for you in the past. Be careful, or you'll get yourself taken off every task.
I'm the leader!
Says who?
I'm the most logical member of our team, so it's only natural.
There's nothing natural about it. A leader requires people skills, which you obviously lack.
Do you want to be leader? Because that timid wolf certainly isn't going to do it.
No.
I didn't think so.
But I say we let Miss Archer lead.
What use is a leader who—
All in favor?
I'm not opposed.
I guess I don't have a problem with it.
You've been outvoted. Again. You may want to work on those people skills of yours.
Fine. I'm not going to argue about this. Well, leader, how should we proceed?
Do we know anything about this door we need to find?
It's hidden and has a special lock.
That's it?
Pretty much.
Then I guess we should split up and look for...
Actually, we need to choose our team first.
Oh, right. Okay. I guess I'll pick... Mr. Bandages and the Count.
Naturally.
Let's have fun with this.
Good luck.
Mr. Wolf looked around for a moment, uncertain as to what he was supposed to do. Mr. Bandages let out a sigh of irritation before getting up and knocking on the door. It opened to reveal the waiter from earlier. Was he standing out there the entire time?
The wolf is out this round.
He sent a pointed look to the envelope in the waiter's hand.
If that's the second clue, you can give it to me.
You're not the leader. Miss Archer is. So the clue should go to her.
The waiter nodded, handed me the envelope, and then led Mr. Wolf out of the room. The two of you knew there would be another clue?
There usually is in Eric's games.
Well, are you going to read it or not?
I opened the letter and scanned it before reading it aloud. A key that must be held, a key that must be spun, and a third that must be solved until you're left with none. That's the clue, but there's also this part that says we don't need to leave this room to find the first key. I guess we should start looking.
I doubt we're looking for a normal key, so keep an eye out for anything unusual.
We set out examining the contents of the room, but there was one thing I couldn't help but wonder. Where are we supposed to use this key?
Let's just focus on finding it first.
We looked around for a bit longer, but I found nothing even remotely resembling a key. A loud noise of banging had my head whipping around, but I couldn't see the cause.
I found it.
Mr. Bandages was balanced on a chair with his hand reaching awkwardly above one of the shelves. He pulled his hand back a bit and the wall behind us slid open, but the moment he let it go, the wall slammed back down, repeating the noise from earlier.
By the looks of it, this key needs someone to actively keep it open. It's a bit of an awkward position though, so the person has to stay behind while the others go through.
How long do you think you can keep it open?
Long enough for the two of you to get through. I guess I'm staying behind then. You better not screw this up.
Good to see you have so much faith in us.
Come on, Miss Archer. Let's leave this stuffy old guy behind.
He grabbed my hand and pulled me over to the hidden door before giving Mr. Bandages the go-ahead to open it. The moment it was high enough, we darted through, not wanting to risk the door falling on us. A hallway. I don't see anything to be spun here.
Must be closer to the other end. We'll be alone for a bit longer. I'm glad.
Mr. Bandages, we're going to explore this hallway.
Fine. If you need to get back, just knock. I'm not staying in this position if I don't have to.
Having said that, he let the door slam shut. The Count and I walked through the hallway until we came to a dead end with a table that had a strange machine on it.
The key then must be spun. A Wimshurst machine. I guess we're expecting to provide electricity to move the door. Let me do this. A lady shouldn't have to do physical labor.
He spun the handle a few times, observing how much effort it took to move the door and keep it open. After a while, he turned to me, looking determined.
I can keep the door open long enough for you to get through, but the moment I let go of the handle, it's just going to fall back down. I guess this is where we part for now. Good luck.
Thank you. I positioned myself in front of the door and he started spinning it again. The moment it was high enough, I darted under and entered the new room. This room actually had a door that wasn't hidden. Something that needs to be solved. I walked up to the door and the third clue became clear. There was a sliding puzzle on it. Piece of cake. Huh. I'll show him who doesn't have any skills. I could do one of these in my sleep. Wait, are all the pieces seriously just in order like this? Wow, real challenge. Okay, just slide the last one here and done. Oh, cute. That was easier than I thought. A lot easier. The moment the last piece slid into place, a different door opened and a man walked in.
Well done. Your team receives 5 points for this task. Your team awaits you.
I followed him to a room where the three of them were sitting.
I guess having you on the team isn't such a bad thing.
She got us a 5. If you ask me, that isn't bad at all. It's great.
You did really well.
Don't let it go to your head, though. This was just the first task.
I took a seat and turned my attention to the big screen television. So, what are we watching?
The other team's tasks
But those?
are different from what we did. Each team received a unique task.
It's quite fun to watch.
It's not fun, it's research. We might get some of these tasks later, not to mention that knowing how many people you need to watch out for in a competition isn't a bad thing.
It can also be fun research.
Wolf, I will slap you with my model hand.
A couple of hours later, a now familiar tone sounded. Another announcement?
All teams have now finished their task, one way or another. Congratulations to those who were successful, and my condolences to those that weren't.
Don't worry too much. Tomorrow is another day, after all. As for today, normally I'd have everyone gather in the dining hall for dinner, but seeing as we're doing the whole team thing, we might as well stick to it. Dinner will be brought to each team's current team area, but be warned, your performance in the task determines the quality of food. Enjoy.
Another tone signaled the end of the announcement. A waiter came in wheeling a cart filled with food covered with silver domes, followed by another waiter with more food, and another, and another, and... Is this all for us?
Don't sound so surprised.
But it's so much.
Eat what you like. The staff will take care of the rest.
You act like this is a normal thing.
Isn't it?
Not to most people.
Well, we're not most people.
And Eric likes to splurge.
Well, that explains the entire event.
Too much money, not in... I was distracted by the aromas wafting toward me as the food was uncovered. I immediately set about filling my plate.
Someone's easily distracted.
I think a healthy appetite is a good thing.
A moment on the lips, a lifetime on the hips.
You're the one who needs to worry about that, Mr. Skeleton.
I'll have you know that this body is the result of a strict exercise regimen and nutrition plan.
And mine's the result of enjoying myself. I fail to see your point.
Wow, this food is great. Do you guys really eat like this all the time?
Pretty much. Although I like to eat simpler stuff sometimes too.
Man, you guys are lucky.
Everyone at this event should be able to afford to eat like this all the time, so I don't see what luck has to do with it.
Well, my family always had to watch our budget growing up, so splurging just isn't something I feel right doing, even if it is on food.
I really admire people like you know?
Me? Why, I'm not anything special.
You weren't born into this lifestyle, but you managed to work your way to it.
All I did was sing.
Even so, getting into the industry is something that doesn't happen for a lot of people, let alone becoming famous.
I was just lucky my manager found me. I didn't really do anything.
Your skill sheet says you can play instruments, dance, read music.
I'm passionate about music. Don't people usually research and dabble in what they're passionate about? I didn't do anything unusual. Things just worked out in my favor, and now I'm doing what I love doing.
Well, I, for one, am glad they did. Maybe when we win, you can sing us a victory song. He ducked his head shyly.
Thanks. I'll see what I can do.
When we win, someone's cocky.
Not cocky. Confident.
Confidence is good. Very good.
It's a bit early to be too confident. We don't even have a secure lead yet.
But we will, if we all do our best.
I play to win. You want my best? You've got it.
I certainly don't mind doing my best in the service of a beautiful lady.
I'll do what I can and try not to get in the way.
Honestly, watching them at that moment, I couldn't help but feel that we could make a great team.